What is going on, guys? Here at TPS, we previously ran a video of NFL players getting caught doing weird things during a game. If you thought those moments were outrageous, just wait until you see the list we compiled here for NBA players. From napping to untying an opponent's shoes to eating a spectator's food. There is no shortage of moments where NBA players perform something strange during a game. Here's a look at the top 18. Number 18, nap time for Chris Kaman. They say there's no crying in baseball, while we say there's no sleeping in basketball. Former NBA center Chris Kaman is best known for a successful stint with the Los Angeles Clippers. He earned an All-Star selection in 2010, and Kaman played a key role in helping them reach the second round of the postseason in 2006. That year, the Clippers defeated the Denver Nuggets in the opening round to clinch their first playoff series win since 1976, when the franchise was based in Buffalo. Kaman has a pretty nice legacy with the Clippers, but the same cannot be said about Kaman's one-year tenure with the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers fans probably best remember him as the guy who was caught sleeping while on the bench during a 2014 game.
On Friday night, Chris Kaman taking advantage. Got a fold-out couch.
Kobe Bryant voiced his displeasure with the teammates, and he said Kaman's napping segment was similar to doing crazy things while your older brother isn't around. Be better, Chris. Be better. Number 17, Kyle Lowry snacks on popcorn. It's not the NBA rulebook, as far as we know, but players aren't usually supposed to take food and drinks from the fans in attendance, especially junk food. But during his tenure with the Houston Rockets, Kyle Lowry said, man, the heck with that, and was seen snacking on some popcorn that belonged to a fan sitting courtside.
How about Bill Warrell? No. How about Clyde Drexler? He's a hometown kid.
In Lowry's defense, it was past the halfway point in the third quarter. The future Toronto Raptors All-Star was obviously pretty hungry, but shouldn't you wait until after the game to start eating? Doesn't your coach want you to stay away from eating that junk during the game? Oh well, at least Lowry provided the fan with an awesome memory that they're never going to forget. And I mean, Lowry is far from the only player to have snacked on a fan's popcorn during a game. Number 16, Celtics practice long snapping. It's hard to find many similarities between football and basketball when it comes to the actual in-game play, but the Boston Celtics were kind enough to show some football moves after winning the tip-off in a 2012 game against the rival Los Angeles Lakers. Not sure what the whole idea behind that long snapping process was, but it was hilarious and odd at the same time. Good on them for being different. Number 15, Dennis Rodman takes a timeout on the court. Basketball Hall of Famer and 5-time NBA champion Dennis Rodman had plenty of troubles on and off the court. He was one of the most polarizing players of his era. Some loved him for his defense and hard work ethic, but it was easy for others to dislike a guy that let his attitude get in the way far too often. Rodman, who had a long withstanding feud with the NBA officials, took it to another level in a game between the Dallas Mavericks and the Milwaukee Bucks. Fed up with the refs, an angry Rodman protested by sitting down on the court.
He's still talking about. Rodman sits and he's gone. Rodman's gone.
Rodman was hit with a technical foul, and he was also ejected from the game. He continued to berate officials, even taking his shirt off during the ordeal. The Mavericks wound up losing the game, but at least their fans in attendance were treated to a strange yet totally unforgettable Dennis Rodman moment. Number 14, Reggie Evans crosses the line on Chris Kaman. There are a lot of things you just never do in sports. One of those things you never do is target an opponent in the groin area. It's sickening, disgusting, poor sportsmanship, and just downright inexcusable. One of those awful incidents took place during a 2006 postseason game between Reggie Evans' Denver Nuggets and Chris Kaman's LA Clippers. While the two men were fighting for positioning, Evans delivered a shot to Kaman in his groin area. This caused the latter to retaliate by pushing Evans to the ground.
Sometimes, like you're boxing out, you hit somebody or something, whatever, but this dude...
Yes, he got caught with his hand in the cookie.
Evans was fined $10,000 for the incident, and he was hit with a flagrant foul. Kaman's Clippers also got the last laugh as they polished off Evans and the Nuggets in 5 games. Number 13, Mike Scott, drinking on the job. There are many few jobs on this planet that allow you to drink on the job. Oh my God, so good. Where was I? That especially applies to athletes, who need to be 100% sober and focusing during games. I mean, obviously. But a seemingly thirsty Mike Scott of the Philadelphia 76ers couldn't help but take a sip of a fan's beer after leaping into the crowd when he went to chase a ball.
Seats here and saying hello. Well, I'll tell you, I like this edition.
Hey Mike, beers aren't cheap at sporting events. They're like $15 each. Hopefully you bought him another drink, but honestly, that fan's got a memory. I'd probably keep the bottle, that'd be kind of cool. Is that weird? I don't know. Whatever. Cheers. Oh, raspberry. Oh, sorry, ruby grapefruit. Number 12, T-Mac's perfect punter impersonation. Tracy McGrady was one of the most dominant players of the 2000s. The 7-time All-Star won the scoring title in back-to-back years in 2003 and 2004. He and Yao Ming turned the Houston Rockets into a Western Conference powerhouse. Few duos were as fun to watch as those two. T-Mac is also enshrined in the Basketball Hall of Fame. But even the best have those bad days that they'll probably never forget. For McGrady, that moment of insanity took place during a 2004 game when he was a member of the Orlando Magic. T-Mac lost his cool and kicked the ball not once, but twice into the stands. On the second kick, he performed a grade A impersonation of an NFL punter.
NFL. And Tracy kicks the ball into the stands. But it's thrown back, and if he's kicked again, he's out of the game. And he is. He's gone.
McGrady was thrown out of the game, and he received a $10,000 fine for the incident. Surprisingly, no NFL team offered him a tryout in the offseason. I mean, obviously, clearly was probably not talented enough to be in the NFL. You get what I'm saying. It's a joke. Whatever. Number 11, Steph Curry ejected for throwing mouthguard. Never has a single athlete told as many tales with his mouthguard as Steph Curry. The 2-time MVP and 3-time NBA champion is renowned for his habit of chewing on his mouthguard. But believe it or not, Curry's mouthguard has gotten him into trouble on a couple occasions. In the waning minutes of Game 6 of the 2016 NBA Finals, Curry was frustrated when he called for a foul on LeBron James. An angry Curry took out his mouthguard and threw it into the crowd, inadvertently hitting a fan.
And then got in front of James. And it was that second contact that they called. And you rarely see Curry.
Curry was ejected, although he made sure to apologize to the fan on his way out. The Warriors lost the game, and eventually the series, as LeBron guided the Cleveland Cavaliers to victory in Game 7. Curry's ejection was just one of the many things that went wrong for the Warriors, who infamously blew a 3-1 series lead. By the way, that marked the first ejection of Curry's career, and it couldn't have come at a worse time for the Warriors. Also, the fact that you're throwing your gross mouthguard into the stands, kind of a dick move, but, you know, we get pissed. It's millions of dollars on the line and championship and pride and ego and legacy. I get it. It's a lot, you know, what's a mouthpiece, but you know. Maybe the fan enjoyed it and like bit it and caught it in his mouth, like, never mind. Number 10, somebody on the 76ers cut the cheese. Yeah, flatulence is, you know, it's a human function. We all fart. Really, it happens to everyone. We all do it. But most are still taught proper manners, such as not doing it when other people are around you. Well, somebody on the Philadelphia 76ers forgot about common sense during a 2019 playoff game against the Brooklyn Nets. That anonymous individual on the bench rudely cut the cheese, and it went viral on social media.
Through a warm-up before the game, that's something standard he did before Game 1 and Game 2, and minutes before Game 1 and 2, he decided, I'm going to play. Well, today he said he won't. And it's about...
Sometimes you're just hanging with the boys on the bench and you fart. Is what it is. Number 9, Delonte West delivers Wet Willy to Gordon Hayward. A Wet Willy is something that may be funny to you when you're 12 or under. But by the time you're a teenager, you've hopefully stopped doing Wet Willies because you just realize they're pretty gross, you know, and kind of just rude. But sometimes when you're with friends, you act like a kid. Unfortunately for Delonte West, he was never the most mature guy during his playing career. We are talking about a guy who was suspended by his own Dallas Mavericks team following detrimental conduct in 2012. And so those who grew up watching West couldn't have been surprised when he delivered a Wet Willy to Gordon Hayward of the Utah Jazz during a 2012 game.
An official did not see this.
What is that about? That is the low of lows of sportsmanship.
Hayward later admitted that he wanted to fight West following the gross antic, but he knew it was better to avoid risking a technical or a suspension. Credit to Hayward for taking the high road and being the mature one here. Number 8, Kevin Garnett makes Glen Davis cry. Seeing heated huddles is nothing uncommon. Players and coaches get into yelling matches all the time, and it's just the nature of the sport. Now, huddles aren't meant to make players cry. Maybe there will be a bit of screaming, but they're supposed to be helpful and motivating. Well, Glen Davis of the Boston Celtics wasn't exactly pleased when Kevin Garnett berated him during a team huddle. Actually, to say he wasn't pleased would be a massive understatement, because Garnett's temper caused Davis to cry.
Piece of video comes up, and it's always this one. Real story on that story.
Look, I'm gonna clear this up for the world right here. So as you
Davis earned the nickname Big Baby during his youth basketball days. This crying on the bench moment only expanded the whole Big Baby moniker. The two appeared on TNT in 2016 to discuss the incident. Davis claimed that it was out of passion, and he didn't want to come out of the game there. Anyway, it's all behind them, and they'll always have that 2008 NBA championship to cherish together. Number 7, Lance Stephenson blows in LeBron James' ear. Thanks to their shutdown physical defense, the Indiana Pacers were practically the only team in the Eastern Conference that challenged the Miami Heat during their Big 3 2003 era, when they had LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. The two teams met in the playoffs 3 years in a row from 2012 to 14. Indiana pushed Miami to 7 games in the 2013 Eastern Conference Finals, and to 6 games in the 2014 Conference Finals. But they just weren't able to solve King James and company. Don't say the Pacers didn't try, however. They did everything they could to get in the heads of the Heat. I mean, just look at this moment when Lance Stephenson blew in LeBron's ear during Game 5 of the 2014 playoff series.
Indiana Pacers, including this, blowing in the ear of LeBron James, and James' reaction, he can't believe it.
4 years later, Stephenson explained that it was done in an effort to make James mad. It didn't really work, obviously, but at least the effort was there, and the ear-blowing incident created a plethora of epic memes. So thank you, Lance. We had a good laugh. Number 6, Ron Artest panting Paul Pierce. Ron Artest / Metta World Peace had many disturbing on-court incidents during his career. His role in the Malice at the Palace incident obviously stands out the most, and we can't forget his vicious cheap shot elbow on James Harden. Those are just a few of his many mishaps. One of his other disturbing incidents took place during a game against the Boston Celtics, when he tried pulling down Paul Pierce's shorts.
Defensive tactic, yanking the shorts of Paul Pierce down, but it didn't work too well because right after that, Paul Pierce drained a 3 on him.
Well, Pierce sure got the last laugh there, draining a shot after Artest pulled off the immature antic. Number 5, who swats a shoe? Honestly, Steph Curry was just trying to be a good teammate when Maurice Spates lost his shoe during a tilt against the Mavericks. Curry picked up Spates' shoe and tried throwing it over to him, but Tyson Chandler wouldn't have any of that.
That shoe is, Curry grabs it, Chandler swats the shoe.
The Chandler swatting it out of bounds.
Get that shoe out of here.
The fans are up right now.
Hey, you gotta give Chandler some credit. It takes some special hand-eye coordination to swat a shoe away during a game. No wonder he won the 2012 Defensive Player of the Year award.
Who throws a shoe? Honestly.
Number 4, Dennis Rodman kicks a cameraman. We previously talked about Rodman's antics and questionable on-court behavior, but that whole sitting down in the court incident was far from his worst and most memorable. During a 1997 game between the Chicago Bulls and the Minnesota Timberwolves, Rodman snapped and kicked a courtside cameraman in the groin. Yeah, that's crazy.
Fighting for the ball, and that's where he comes up to the camera, steps on the camera, that's where he's upset.
The cameraman had to be taken out on a stretcher, and in order to avoid prosecution, Rodman agreed to pay him $200,000 in a settlement. The NBA also suspended Rodman 11 games over the incident, and for good reason. There's no excuse for kicking an innocent cameraman doing his job. You know, even though the man was clearly trying to oversell it a bit, but what are you gonna do? Number 3, Carlos Boozer's low blow on the ref. This is hands down my favorite moment in NBA history. I'm not joking. It's just so funny. I don't know how it happened. I don't get it. I really don't get how it happened, but it's hilarious. The timing is impeccable. In all of sports, any physical contact on an official is a big no-no. It will always lead to an ejection, fine, and suspension, unless it's accidental contact, of course. Former Chicago Bulls big man Carlos Boozer is a prime example of getting away with physical contact on an official. He made a successful bucket while drawing a foul, and Boozer responded with a fist pump, not realizing that referee Danny Crawford was right behind him during the celebration.
Boozer strong move in the lane and had enough to get it to go.
Good move against dirt.
Wristed that in. Oh, wow, he did get him.
Lucky for Boozer, Crawford couldn't help but laugh at the honest mistake. And no, Boozer was not ejected or suspended or fined. But still, that's crazy. Favorite moment, NBA history. For me, right there. Number 2, Manu Ginobili kills a bat. Manu Ginobili will be best remembered as a key component for the San Antonio Spurs NBA championship teams in 2003, 5, 7, and 14. He was also a 2-time All-Star who earned 2 All-NBA third-team selections. But Ginobili will also be remembered for assisting animal control during a Halloween 2009 home game against the Sacramento Kings. A bat started flying around the AT&T Center, which obviously caused some fear among the Spurs faithful. Ginobili displayed no fear as the bat flew in his direction, and he neutralized it with one giant swat.
Manu's tired of that stinking delay.
Sean, that's our AT&T connection of the game right there.
Yeah, I know.
A bat flying around the arena on Halloween. I mean, come on, it was clearly planned and planted, but still funny. Number 1, J.R. Smith unties Shawn Marion's shoes. Maybe it wasn't the dirtiest or the most disturbing on-court antic on this list, but it was certainly the oddest, because we hadn't seen anything like this in any sport. J.R. Smith has never been afraid of making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Remember his brain fart during Game 1 of the 2018 NBA Finals, or the time where the Cavaliers suspended him after he threw soup at one of his coaches. Still, none of those incidents were as odd as this one. You know, the time where Smith untied Shawn Marion's shoes while Dirk Nowitzki was taking a free throw.
With Tyson Chandler out of the game, there's no reason to settle. Attack the rim.
Yeah, and for those just tuning in, he has an upper respiratory infection. He did start tonight.
Smith was later fined a whopping $50,000, all because he decided to act like a 5-year-old by untying his opponent's shoes. That is clearly a moment where an NBA player was caught doing something really, really weird during a game. I mean, it's not nearly as bad as what he did to LeBron in the finals. What other crazy moments should we have added to our list? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, we're on everything. Go find us, go check us out. You think we're on that social media? We are there. That's because we have them all. Go follow, subscribe, everything. Subscribe to TPS on YouTube. We post videos every day. New sports content every day. Who doesn't want it? There's no sports happening right now. At least I don't think when this is posted, so subscribe. If you like this video, give it a like. It takes a click down below. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. I'll see you next time.
My knee.